Good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares. So, who loves to exercise? Yeah, I think you're probably hard pressed to find a lot of people that are going to quickly raise their hand and say, "That's me, that's me." But how many of you know you need to exercise? Everybody, right? You know that you have to do that for your health and wellness. So, what's holding you back when it comes to carving out the time to exercise? Is it full of excuses? Is it you just don't even know where to start? You're a little nervous about it because maybe it's been a while. I think a lot of those things are yeses for a lot of people. Number one, carving out the time. Do you know how easy it is to say, I don't have time? Trust me, you guys, I totally get it. You have to make the time. There's nothing else you can do. It is not, you're not going to just find magical hour that's just going to pop into your day. They're going to be able to do it. You're going to have to put on your calendar and you are going to have to schedule it in. That is the only way you are going to consistently work out. And even if you have the stuff at home, and you're like, oh, I'll go to downstairs and I'll use the rowing machine, I'll use the Peloton, I'll take a walk when it's nice, whatever it is. Are you going to do it? Probably not, because what are you going to see if it's at home? You're going to see your dishes, your laundry, some sort of spring cleaning or organizing you need to do, or grocery runs, or whatever it is, right? There is a million reasons you can find not to work out, especially if it's at your house. So some people are very dedicated, and I do love having the rowing machine, but again, it's downstairs. Do I see it every day? No. If I was tripping over it, maybe if it was upstairs, but even that, people kind of get used to it, right? They use their Pelotons and their exercising equipment as what? They throw clothes on it, right? It becomes like this clothes hanger and it becomes dusty and you're not going to do it. So what are we going to do to change that up? Number one, mindset. You have to say, okay, I know I need to make the time, so I'm going to do it because I know it is good for my health and wellness. Find somebody to do it with. And if you can't find somebody that you can do it with, then make that effort to get the gym membership, get a personal trainer, join a class that they expect you to be there. But you've got to put some skin in the game. So if you're going to you got to put the money in. So you see it coming out of your account every month. You're like, yeah, I need to be doing this, right? I'm paying for this. So if you're held accountable by a personal trainer, if it's a class that you're supposed to be at, those things are going to help hold you accountable if you don't have somebody that you can go work out with. So where are we going to start? Number one, you need to set realistic goals for yourself. If you haven't worked out in a while, don't say, I'm going to start working out 5 days a week, because you're not. Okay. You might start for the first week all excited, but that's not going to work well. And you know that's not going to work. So let's start out by carving out 30 minutes to an hour a couple times a week that we can do this. Join a class that you have to go to. Those are fun. They expect you to be there, right? You're paying for them. Do that. Just like I said, find somebody to go with, but set those realistic goals as to what you know you can do. Now, it is sometimes hard to find the time to carve out. So let's look at our calendar for next week. Today is Thursday. So let's look at it for next week and say, what days can I find the time to do this? You don't want to stress yourself out by like trying to squeeze it in between running and doing all this, but you do need to find the time. If your time is very limited, I have a suggestion for you. You need to try HotWorks, because HotWorks is great. Those are usually 15-minute workouts. And the thing with that, you got the app on your phone, no stress. You pull into the parking lot, you pull it up, and you see what's available. See if you have time to change your clothes, and then you go in. And that's kind of how I do it. It's just so much easier. There's no stress involved that, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in traffic. The class is going to start. No sweat. They're going to start again every 15 minutes. So those are great for people that are busy, don't have a lot of time, but they need to get that workout in. By working out there with the infrared sauna, all that extra heat, you're getting like an extra workout just for being in the sauna. So their little tagline is the only place you can earn the burn. And it's true, you guys, it really is a great, quick workout. So if you're somebody that likes that, but if you're like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can work out in a sauna, there's a lot of other choices, right? But you have to set realistic goals. So first things first, carve the time out. Decide where you're going to work out and what you're going to do. But like I said, start out with 2 to 3 times a week. Be realistic about it. Don't say, I'm going to do it every day, because you know you're not. And you need to change it up. Don't do the same thing every time you work out. You know, now it's starting to get nice out. Throw in a few walks here and there, right? So choosing the right type of exercise is super important as well, just like setting the realistic goals. Choose what you love. If you have bad knees and you can't run, then don't say you're going to run. Don't do things that you know you can't do. Do something that's low impact, but you've got to start. So know your body, know your health, and know what you can do, but also choose something you love. And again, choose somebody to do it with. There are so many ways we can get exercise. It's not just go to the gym, running, walking, getting on the row machine. There are so many things we can do. So, what do you enjoy? And I bet we can find a way that we can turn that into something that can help your health and wellness and give you that little bit of exercise. If you're somebody that likes to walk, but you're like, oh, it's still kind of cold out, it is freezing, it seriously is, then, there still are malls. You can go walk around there and you see a lot of those mall walkers, right? And that's exactly where they're doing it. They're still wanting the exercise. They're wanting to be around people. And it is fun. The time goes fast if you're walking around the mall and looking around, right? And so if it's cold, choose something like that. But there's always a way that you can figure it out. The third thing we need to do is listen to our body. Like I said, if something isn't feeling right, then we need to change it up. If you have certain issues, like I said, your knees, that's a big one, then we need to do things that are low impact. So listen to what your body is telling you. Don't push yourself to the point that you're going to hurt yourself. If you have not worked out for a while, again, start slowly, okay? Low impact, and we're going to work up. Now, the next day, you're probably going to hurt, but it's a good hurt, right? When you know you've worked out, you've put that effort in. So it's so important that we don't want to get injured. So we want to choose those things and start at a realistic pace. Kind of all these things really all tie together, right? But establishing a routine. So like I said, today, look at your calendar for next week. But why don't you look at it for the next week and the next week? Because right now, if you can look at it for the entire what's left of March or so on and make it every week that we do it, just like I do these lives every week, I know it's penciled into my calendar, right? So establish that routine so you know in this time, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to work out. And if we do that and we work it in, it's going to be less stress for you to try to like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's already on the calendar. You're already going to do it. But that routine over time, you're going to realize how much you enjoy working out and exercising and doing those things for your health and wellness and how much better you feel. And all these things are tied together. Once you start doing this, you don't really feel like eating the junk because you're feeling better and you're seeing the results and you're like, I don't really think I want that, right? And that's exactly so important to do because once we start doing that, all these things fall into place and then they become the good habits. So find that routine, find that person to work out with. Again, so key to do that. Next, I talked about preventing injury with pushing yourself too much. You need to prioritize warm-ups and cool down. Some people are like, oh, like I've kind of been guilty of this too. Like the ones that you used to put in the, whether it's on your stream on your computer, your phone, or put in the DVD player, right? And it was the cool down. You're like, oh, I'm done, right? Like there was 5 minutes of cool down and you just shut it off. You're not done because it's really important to before and after to stretch, you guys, to do those warm-ups and those cool downs. You want to prevent injury. Why do you see the athletes out there doing those things? It is so key that they do that so they don't get hurt. Just a couple weeks ago, I was in the penalty box at the hockey game, which is a totally different perspective when you're like right there on the ice. And Alex was stretching out in front of me. And I was fascinated. I don't think I've ever watched him stretch like I did, except for when he was right in front of me. I mean, he did the splits. And I told him, I said, wow, he goes, you can't do that. I'm like, no, no, I cannot do the splits. But he can, but he knows the importance. I mean, when you're a goalie, you have to stay flexible. You are out there. It's cold, right? You guys have went to hockey games, I'm sure, or at least been, even now outside, it's freezing, right? You're all bundled up. Well, yes, they're producing some energy when they're out there, trying to save those pucks, but they have to be loose. They have to be warmed up or they can really hurt themselves. So that was really, it was kind of an eye-opening thing just to watch what he's doing, but so important that you do those warm-ups and cool down. So please don't skip those. The workout is not over just because it's that time. Next is fueling your body properly. We have talked about this several times, especially now as it's getting warmer. I know I've talked to you guys about proper hydration and watching out for those sugary sports drinks. And they have no place in your gym bag. They have no place in your kids' gym bag because those things were not formulated for the student athlete. Those were really for the high-level professional athletes, the Olympic athletes. Our kids don't need those things, right? Number one, they don't need the dyes. And number two, they don't need all that sugar, right? Those things are terrible. So what are we going to do? We've got to fuel our body properly. And there are a lot of choices. If you're interested, I have things that I can tell you about that are pre-workout, that are hydration, and that are post-workout. And these, they taste good. They're not full of all the junk, and they really get it done. I have a lot of friends that use those, that do things like CrossFit, they do marathons, and I even have one friend that said it shaved time off his marathon time because he wasn't bogging himself down with all those extra things that he did not need, all the sugars, all the carbs, all the nastiness. He wasn't crashing. So if you're interested in some of those, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to give you some information and some samples as well, so you can try it on your workout that you're going to start next week, right? The next thing we want to do, we got to stay motivated. So how are we going to stay motivated to do this? We're going to track our progress. So some people like to weigh, some people like to measure. Whatever you want to do, even if you don't want to do those things, I guarantee you're going to notice the difference in the way you feel and the way your clothes are fitting. So those things are important, but the only way to stay motivated is to see that. So find a way that you want to track your progress. Whether you have an app on your phone, a lot of you guys, you can do this. Even the free app on my phone that tells me how many steps I walk in a day, right? All those things. People have the watches they wear, whatever it is. Make sure you are tracking what you are doing, and you will start seeing those results. And the better you do that, the more motivated you're going to get to keep going, because that's what it's all about. We love to feel better, right? We love the rewards, and the rewards are feeling better and looking better. And that's exactly what we all want. So make sure you track that progress so you can stay motivated. Next thing and final thing really is to be patient. These results are not going to come overnight. You all know that. It can be frustrating, absolutely. But remember, when we're replacing fat with muscle, the scale isn't always going to show what we want it to show, but it's the way, like I said, that's why the way your clothes fit, the way you feel is going to be so important. But be patient. Trust the process. You know you are doing the right thing. And if you need to, like I said, you can talk to me. We can talk about what you can eat, just different things, the way you can feel your body. We need to talk about being positive. Mindset is so important. Find a personal trainer. They are out there to help you. That's what they do. That is their job, right? To help you through these things. And they will help you realize the steps along the way. And you will see such changes if you stay consistent. So the main thing is find a time to start and don't put it off. Get the calendar out, schedule it in. You need to be patient, but you need to stay motivated. So all these things really tie together, but you know that this is going to help you feel better, live longer, and be the best version of you. So why don't you involve everybody in your household to do it? If you live alone, I guarantee you have friends that would love to join you and do this. But let's get more people involved, because when we are healthier, we are happier. And boy, could we use a lot more happiness in the world. So please be that person that's going to make the change. Start by making that change in yourself. And I guarantee it will start rubbing off on others around you as they see, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I want a piece of that. So what I'm asking you to do is to reach out to me. Tell me when you are going to start your workout. Don't delay. If you are nervous, you don't know where to start, again, reach out to me. I am more than happy to give you some pointers and point you in the right direction. We can chat about things that maybe limitations you have and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And again, if you want the right way to fuel your body, reach out to me as well, and I will pop some of those in the mail for you, and you can try that on your first workout next week. Let's be healthier, and let's make this a happier place for everyone. My name is Amy Gill, your pharmacist that cares.